Okay, what I have here is a number of triple stores. One with the drug bank, one with all the clinical trials, one with diseases, side effects, and medical items. And what I do is I make a query where I will look for clinical trials that discuss the same targets and the same drug, in this case morphine, and the same side effects. And I'll do this query completely visually. So let me start. First I start with, say, morphine sulfate, and I get the morphine, and so here's it. And then I want to link it to a clinical trial, so I make a variable node, and I say call it a clinical trial, and I want to establish a relationship between the two. So let me see, discusses a drug. So now I have one part of the query, and I'm also looking at targets. So let me make one variable for targets. I say target, and I say add a predicate link, and we say discusses a target. Yeah. So now we already have a simple version of a query, and I can do the query. And what you see here is the SPARQL query that got built, and what you see here are the two columns that were the results, so the clinical trial and the target. Yeah? And here, for example, is an example of a target, and I could look at that, and then you see the cellular location, the drug references, the general references, etc., the to-go classification functions, etc. So let me go back to the query view, and let me copy this particular one. And now go back to the visual query builder, and let me copy it here and add a predicate link to it, and we say all predicates discusses a target, and I want, so what I've done here now is to say, okay, find me all the clinical trials that at least discuss this particular target, but also have other targets that they talk about, and they talk about the drug morphine. Yeah, and then just for fun, let's add some side effects too. So I say add variable node, and we say side effect, and then we say add a predicate link, discuss side effects. Yeah. And so now we can do the query. Now we see a number of clinical trials that discuss targets that are different from the one that you saw on the screen, and that have all these various side effects. Yeah? And I could show you the visual graph. And here you see roughly one clinical trial that has all these, well, that has these drugs and these side effects, and discusses this particular, these three targets. But let's now go to the second clinical trial, or another clinical trial that has these things in common. So I go to the query view again, and I make a new clinical trial. So I say clin trial 2. I want it to be different, so I say make a filter link. So I'm saying that this one cannot be the same as this one, and I want this one also to talk about morphine. So we say add predicate link. All predicates discusses the particular drug, and I want this clinical trial also to discuss the side effects. So we say add predicate link, and then discusses the side effects, and we want it to discuss this particular target. So we also say add predicate link. Discusses a target. So now we have a fairly complicated query, yeah, where these two clinical trials are different. Each clinical trial talks about morphine, talks about this target that is different from this one, and it talks about the same side effects. And I can do the query, and I get the first 10 results. Here you see that the query's gotten really big, and no one in his right mind would even consider typing this in nowadays. And then we create a visual graph from the results, and here's the beautiful results. Okay, thanks.